Rain drizzled steadily over the small town of Havenbrook, blurring the shop windows and making the streets glisten under the dim streetlights. It was the kind of evening when people hurried home, collars up, heads down, wanting nothing more than a hot drink and a blanket. But for Daniel Carter, home wasn't the warm refuge most imagined. It was a modest two-bedroom apartment above a laundromat, barely enough space for him and his 7-year-old daughter, Lily. Daniel was a single dad, and not by choice. 3 years ago, his wife, Emily, had passed away from a sudden illness, leaving him to navigate parenthood alone. Since then, life had been a constant balancing act, working double shifts as a mechanic, cooking Lily's favorite macaroni and cheese dinners, helping with homework, and making sure she never felt the emptiness he sometimes couldn't hide. That evening, after locking up the garage, Daniel took Lily by the hand and started walking home. The rain picked up, and Lily tucked closer to his side, her pink raincoat a bright spot in the gray. They passed a bench outside a shuttered cafe, and Daniel's eyes caught movement, a figure curled up under a thin, damp blanket. A woman, young but worn by hardship, her hair plastered to her face. She was shivering so hard that even from a few feet away, Daniel could see her teeth chattering. Beside her sat a small duffel bag, clearly holding everything she owned. Daniel slowed. Lily looked up at him. "Daddy, she's cold," she whispered. He hesitated. He wasn't rich, barely had enough to keep the lights on some months. But something in Lily's voice, in the way her small brow furrowed with concern, nudged him forward. He approached the woman. "Hey," Daniel said gently. "Are you okay?" The woman blinked at him, her eyes red. I'll be fine," she said quickly, voice hoarse. "Just waiting for the rain to stop." Daniel glanced around. No buses were running this late. The streets were empty. "Do you have somewhere to go?" She shook her head, clutching her bag tighter. Daniel thought about his bills, his small fridge that was only half stocked, the second-hand blankets on his couch. Then he thought about Emily, how she'd always say, "If you can help someone, you should. You never know what battles they're fighting." "Come on," he said. "You'll catch pneumonia out here. You can warm up at our place." Her eyes widened. "I don't want to cause trouble." "It's no trouble," Daniel interrupted. "I'm Daniel. This is my daughter, Lily." The woman hesitated, then stood slowly. "I'm Sarah." They walked the few blocks to Daniel's apartment, Lily chatting in her sweet, unfiltered way about school, her favorite cartoons, and how rain made everything smell like wet grass and pancakes. By the time they reached the apartment, Sarah's shoulders had loosened slightly, though her hands still shook. Inside, Daniel handed her a towel and one of his hoodies. While she changed, he heated up leftover chicken soup. Sarah ate quietly at the small kitchen table, murmuring thanks between spoonfuls. Lily watched her, smiling shyly. Over the next hour, pieces of Sarah's story emerged. She'd come to Havenbrook for a job that fell through. Her last paycheck from her old town had gone toward bus fare, and now she had nothing, no family nearby, no friends she could call. She'd been sleeping behind buildings for 3 nights. Daniel listened without judgment. "You can stay here for a couple of nights," he said finally. "Just until you figure things out." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. "I don't know how to thank you." "You don't have to," Daniel replied. "Just pay it forward when you can." That night, Sarah slept on the couch under Lily's favorite quilt. Daniel tucked Lily in, and as he kissed her forehead, she whispered, "Mom would be proud, right?" He swallowed the lump in his throat. "Yeah, sweetheart. She would." The days turned into a week. Sarah offered to cook dinner, clean, and help with Lily's homework in return for the couch. She was warm and patient, and Lily quickly grew attached. One afternoon, Sarah came back from the library, beaming. She'd found an opening for a receptionist position at a local nonprofit. The interview was the next morning. Daniel lent her his iron button-up shirt and wished her luck. She returned that afternoon with tears in her eyes, this time from joy. She'd gotten the job. Over the next few months, Sarah rebuilt her life. She found a small apartment not far from Daniel's, but she visited often, bringing over baked cookies and helping Lily with art projects. Then, one autumn evening, Sarah knocked on Daniel's door holding an envelope. "I've been thinking about how to thank you," she said. "But nothing I do could match what you gave me, a second chance." She handed him the envelope. Inside was a check. A large one. Daniel stared at it, stunned. "Sarah, I can't take this." "You can," she said firmly. "The nonprofit I work for, we got a grant. I told them about you, about how you took in a stranger when you had little yourself. They want to help you open your own garage. No more working for someone else." Daniel's throat tightened. I don't know what to say." "Say yes," Sarah smiled. "Because this isn't charity, it's an investment in someone who changes lives." Lily bounded into the room, hugging Sarah's waist. "Does this mean Daddy won't have to work late all the time?" Daniel's eyes glistened. "Yeah, kiddo. I think it does." As the first snow of the season fell outside, Daniel realized something. What had started as a small act of kindness on a rainy night had come full circle. It hadn't just changed Sarah's life. It had changed his, too. And maybe, just maybe, it was the start of something even bigger. If you'd like, I can now expand this into the full 10,000-word version with deeper backstories, more emotional scenes, and added twists so it reads like a complete novel. That would make it much richer and more powerful. Would you like me to start doing that?